I fear the day when I bear a child, and she smiles up at me, seemingly sweet, her little fingers tied on my jeans with nothing in mind but fueling her soul. She'll let go, chase a butterfly or two, with flushed cheeks twirling and running and jumping. Everyone looks on as the butterfly escapes her. Then they look away, except one man, exceptionally intrigued. She stumbles, a peak of patterned bows, and the man looks on. Because what do you tell a child when I'm reaching for my keys and she stumps and she huffs and she says that the pants are hot? Do I tell her that it's her fault, that she should watch what she wear? Because they can't control their thoughts, they can't control their actions. So I tell her that she must have wanted it because she was twirling and jumping and running and throwing her skirt up in the air. I fear the day when, in the company of friends, over a meal and maybe a few drinks, in what seems to be the best part of their lives, another friend arrives, and a few more, some familiar and some not. Sky darkens, a few missed calls, and suddenly, a spot of blood on the bed. She comes to her senses. She says stop, but it doesn't. She yells stop, but it doesn't. What do I tell her then? When we file a case and it gets dismissed because she is 16, do I tell her that she's old enough, that when she was 12 she could have already consented it? When she was 12 her body has matured enough, and maybe so did her brain, enough to make those kind of choices? Do I tell her that consent is dismissible anyway? That when you don't give consent it doesn't matter, they continue. That when you don't give consent your age doesn't matter, they continue. I fear the day when I bear a child, and she'll wave from the stage in a cap and gown, proudly grinning, hopeful of the future ahead. Spring in her step when she enters the workplace. Bursting with ideas, bursting with thoughts, she asks to speak. Her eyes glaze over, minds elsewhere. Aha, they say, a disgusting display of power. Another guy repeats the same. Then they exclaim brilliance. What do I tell her then? When her boss steals her project and claims it for his own, an old man who earns 3 times but does not even measure up to half of her. Do I tell her to go back to the kitchen? Because we live in a boys' world. We're meant to stand behind them, not in front of them. We're meant to know our place and not surpass them. Do I tell her she's overreacting? Because we can't upstage them. We have to protect their fragile little egos. Because we can't question them. We have to protect the system that they built upon their false superiority. I fear the day when I bear a child, and she grows up in a world designed against her.